All persons with any business before the Honorable Justices of the Worcester Juvenile Court and the Worcester Probate Court, sitting in Worcester County, of and for the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. Draw near, give your attendance, and you shall be heard. God save the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. Present for today's ceremony, Chief Justice of the Massachusetts Trial Court, Paula Carey. Chief Justice of the Juvenile Court, Amy Nectum. First Lady of Massachusetts, Lauren Baker. Court Administrator, John Williams. Presiding over today's ceremony from the Worcester Juvenile Court, the Honorable Carol Erskine, the Honorable Deborah Capuano, the Honorable Mary Beth Keating, the Honorable Anthony Murata, the Honorable Jennifer McNulty, the Honorable Stephen Bolivar, and from the Worcester Probate Court, the Honorable Jennifer Melia. Welcome to National Adoption Day 2019. We ask that you remain standing for the presentation of our national anthem, which will be performed today by Mary Burns of the Worcester Superior Court Probation Department.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
We'll ask everybody to have a seat. Good morning, everybody. Good morning again on this fantastic, beautiful day. I want to thank Mary from our Superior Court staff for opening our ceremonies with her amazing voice and her beautiful rendition of our national anthem. Thank you, Mary, so much. I'm Judge Erskine, First Justice of the Worcester County Juvenile Court. Welcome to the Worcester Trial Court on our happiest day of the year, a day when every case heard means a new beginning for our forever families. So on behalf of the judges, clerks, and staff of the Juvenile Court, the Probate and Family Court, the Department of Children and Families, the Mass Adoption Resource Exchange, and the National Adoption Day Committee, welcome to Worcester County's 2019 National Adoption Day celebration. Today, 47 children from ages 1 to 14 will find permanent homes with 34 families as 7 judges finalize your adoptions. Adoptive parents, your commitment to these children is an inspiration, and we are grateful that you chose to expand your families with us. So I ask now that you and your children, adoptive families, stand up and be recognized. Congratulations on becoming forever families. You too. We want to thank our first responders who are always willing and happy to participate in community events that we celebrate with the people of our community. We want to thank the Worcester Police Department for their participation with us upstairs with stickers and badges from the police department. Our grateful appreciation to the Worcester Fire Department, who during this week of heartbreaking sadness came here today to celebrate with your children, even as our fire department members mourn the loss of their brother and local hero, father and husband, Lieutenant Jason Menard. As we celebrate, all of us celebrate the creation of new families today, I ask that we celebrate the life of our local Worcester hero, that we remember and support the 3 children left behind. We are indeed a close-knit, caring community here in Worcester County, and we will wrap our collective arms around the Menard family and help them and support them in every way possible. So I ask now that we pause for a brief moment of silence to remember Lieutenant Jason Menard and his family. I thank you again, Worcester Fire Department, for being here, and the Worcester PD for your willingness to celebrate the new beginnings for these children and families that you protect every day. Most of the children to be adopted today have been followed by judges of the Worcester County Juvenile Court through the filing of the initial petition by DCF, through temporary custody hearings, motions, pretrials, permanency hearings, and trials. We understand that it's been a long and difficult process for those of you who have waited so long, and we are as happy as you are that this day is finally here. So please welcome the judges who will, with the assistance of our amazing session clerks, finalize your adoptions, creating these long-awaited forever families. Juvenile Court judges, Judge Mary Beth Keating. Can we ask the judges to stand when we call your name? Judge Deborah Capuano, Judge Anthony Murata, Judge Stephen Bolivar, Judge Jennifer McNulty, and our colleague from the Probate and Family Court sitting as a juvenile court judge today. Welcome, Judge Jennifer Melia. We are assisted today by the Registrar of Probate, Stephanie Fatman, and her wonderful staff, and our acting clerk magistrate, Brendan Moran, and the juvenile court staff. We also want to welcome special guests, State Representative Kane, John Williams from our trial court administrator, and the district attorney, Joseph Early, who also assists us in preparation of this day. So thank you very much. I want to thank the National Adoption Day Committee, the Judges Lobby staff who coordinate National Adoption Day together along with the Massachusetts Adoption Resource Exchange, our partners in the Probate and Family Court, DCF, and our amazing clerk's office staff who all work very hard to prepare these adoption files and handling the intricate details of the legalities that make these adoptions ready for finalization. We thank our CASA volunteers here to assist you today and for their advocacy for the children before our court. And it's fine if he wants to come up. And for their advocacy for the children before our court. And of course, DCF and bar advocate attorneys for their dedication and work. These surroundings today are coordinated by our incredible building facility staff. And as I said, we want to thank the district attorney for his assistance with this celebration. And of course, our amazing court security team who keep us safe today and every day. But prior to this day, it was the social workers out there, of course, with too little recognition who are protecting children. These now former foster children in this courthouse today were kept safe by the social workers who carefully and with little recognition guided them through a complex system of state care and court hearings. In total, for each child here today, hundreds of social work hours have been done with compassion, dedication, and perfection to bring these children to this moment. So social workers, please accept our grateful appreciation for the amazing work you do for our children. Please stand up if you're a social worker and be recognized. Thank you so much. As we move ahead to create new beginnings on this day, we are reminded that on care and protection cases pending now in our Worcester Juvenile Court jurisdiction, over 2,400 children remain under our jurisdiction. So I want to thank my judicial colleagues and our entire juvenile court staff for the incredible work ethic, compassion, and concern for the children and families who come before our court. I am at this time very pleased to introduce our guests who have come here to welcome and celebrate with you. This is a happy day for the trial court, and we are pleased to introduce you to our trusted, amazing leader of the Massachusetts trial court, Chief Justice Paula Carey.
Thank you, Judge Erskine. I'm really delighted to be here, and all I can say is Worcester really does it up. I mean, really. This is amazing. Look at all the people on all of our floors. It's really a tribute to the importance of National Adoption Day and here in Massachusetts. And Worcester County has, more frequently than any other county, been the media site for National Adoption Day. And it really, I can see why, just by being here. It's a collective effort by the entire community. It's not just the judiciary, but it's really, truly everyone. So this is our 17th annual National Adoption Day. And I have to say that it's one of the best days, if not the best day, in the trial court. It actually, I think, people come to work with a light step and really believe in what we do and how we do it. And again, it is not just the judicial system, but it's the collective DCF, the social workers with DCF, it's our other partners in the justice system. So it's one of my favorite days, and it's wonderful to be able to celebrate the children and families as the children as they find their forever families. And I want to thank, in particular, those families who have opened their hearts and their homes to these children. And, you know, to the parents and families who have chosen to adopt a child, you know, many people go through life talking about making a difference. But it's you folks that truly are stepping up to make a difference and to change the trajectory of the lives of so many of our children in the Commonwealth who really do need a leg up. They need someone to care for them, to love them, and to really provide them with not only a home, but food, shelter, and the most importantly, to provide them with love. The difference you've made is really more than we can ever estimate. You chose to bring these children into your home and to really love them as your own. You know, as we all get together, this is, you know, I was saying earlier today that, you know, I love Thanksgiving more than any other holiday because it really, there's not a whole lot that goes along with it, but it's mostly all families getting together to be together. And at this time of the year, it's especially wonderful that we have National Adoption Day, because what greater gift could we give each other than the gift of love? And so for these families, it's really amazing that you've chosen to do this. And this is really a multi-generational gift that you're giving these children, because by giving them stability, by giving them a home, and by giving them love, you are enabling them and providing a role model for them so that when they grow up, they too can provide for their own families. So it really is a multi-generational gift that you're giving these children, and I can't underestimate the effect of your gift today. So to the children, let's enjoy and let's have a great time. I'm going to stop now because I think everyone really wants the celebration of the adoptions rather than hearing a bunch of people speak, especially me. So let's get on with the program.
Thank you, Chief Carey. The statewide juvenile court with 42 judges in 13 counties functions under the very sound guidance and leadership of our Chief Justice Amy Nectum.
You know, I can't do this alone. Can I have a couple of the young people? Who's it, Jameson? I know you tried to get on the stage with me. Come on up. No? Not now. We want to come up here with me? Come on up. I can't do this alone. Woo! Come on. First, let me say good morning. Any of the other kids want to come up here? Because it's all, come on up here. Come on. Yoo-hoo. All right. Woo! Woo! Don't be afraid. I know you didn't expect it. I'm sorry, Judge Erskine. Because it's about you. Come on up. Come on up. I think we got a picture. What's your name?
Dominic.
Dominic. Okay.
Over here.
What's that?
Your stuff is over here.
So this day, look at this. I want to say welcome to all of you. You know, I have the honor and the privilege of being the chief of the juvenile court, and I say this respectfully for all the court departments. They get tired of me hearing it. What's the best court in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts? The juvenile court, because the juvenile court is all about the kids, all about these fabulous young people and the families here that love them and treasure them. We are so honored to be here today, and I want to thank the judges, the probation, the staff, the court officers, the police, the fire, the DA, the attorneys, social workers, and all of our partners in juvenile justice and child welfare that make this happen. And it's all because of all of you. You want to shout out your names? Can you shout out your names? What's your name? Yeah, anybody? You go ahead. You got the mic.
Dominic.
Woo! Go ahead. Can you? Anybody else? Want to tell me?
Allie.
Come on. Want to say your name?
Kylie.
Woo! Anybody else? No? You want to say your name? No. No, okay. You want it? One more? Oh, just a little one. Well, hold on. Again. Go ahead. Yell it out. Go ahead.
Lorenzo.
Woohoo! Anybody else? All right, congratulations. Oh, wait, one more? Go ahead.
I want to.
Okay. Oh, I started something. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Julia.
Woohoo! All right, go ahead.
Jojo.
Woo! Jojo! You want it? Come on. One more.
Evelyn.
All right. Here's to all of you. Thank you for opening up your hearts, your home to these beautiful children. Have a wonderful day and congratulations.
Our thanks to Chief Justice Nectum and to all the beautiful children are here. All of the judges, myself and all of the judges are so excited to finalize these adoptions. So we're so looking forward to it. I am so pleased, we are all so pleased today to have with us Lauren Baker, the First Lady of the Commonwealth, who works to improve the lives of children of Massachusetts, focusing in particular on the children served by our Department of Children and Families. We're so grateful to have her here to welcome you today. So please let me introduce the First Lady of the Commonwealth, Lauren Baker.
Well, that was an impossible act to follow. So, good morning, and thank you so much for allowing me to be here to share in this incredibly joyous day. I bring you the warmest greetings and hearty congratulations from my husband, Governor Charlie Baker. He wishes he could be here to share in the magic of today. You know, everybody needs a #1 fan, a cheerleader, you know, someone to be there on the sidelines cheering you on in all the wins and supporting you in all the challenges. And today, every one of the 47 kids who's getting adopted gets a #1 fan, and maybe a whole family of #1 fans. And that is magic. I am so happy for every one of the families here today who gets to welcome a new member of their family, and I have to thank every single one of you for changing the lives of the children that you welcome today. It is incredible what you're doing, and I think you are all incredibly lucky to be getting to choose these amazing kids and welcome them into your family. The governor and I are both incredibly grateful to all the people who work so hard to make these adoptions happen. DCF and the adoption social workers, everyone on the team at the Mass Adoption Resource Exchange, all of our judges, but most importantly, the families. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I hope you have the most wonderful day and the most blessed, happy, long, healthy lives together forever. Congratulations.
I want to thank the First Lady of the Commonwealth for coming out here to celebrate this day with us. Every one of you today, every family that is going to finalize an adoption will get a lovely certificate from the State Senate congratulating you on this adoption. This is brought to the families every year by Senator Moore. And here to greet you today from the State Senate is Senator Moore, a friend to this court in every way, a legislator who cares deeply about the issues facing children in state custody and who has championed legislation in support of our work in children's issues. So thank you for being here today, State Senator Michael Moore.
Good morning. It's great to be here again. Now, as I was sitting there and I was thinking about it, every year around this time, myself and other colleagues, Representative Kane, will go around to senior centers and we sponsor holiday meals for seniors. You know, this time of year, some of them are alone and this could be the joy of their holiday. And I was just, the other day I was thinking, this is a great job. I get to provide joy to some of these people. But then I come to an event like this and I think, this is really a wonderful thing. This provides so many children a lifetime of joy and happiness. And driving in this morning, I was thinking that, this is a love-hate type of day. I love coming to this event. But then later on, when we have a child speak who's been adopted, you hear some of the trauma and some of the life experiences that they've had at such a young age. And you wouldn't wish that upon anyone. And actually also, just let everyone know, this is a day that crying and tears are allowed, because you're gonna have those tragic stories followed by the happiness of seeing that child being adopted by these wonderful parents, these people who really do deserve a round of applause for the commitment that they are making for this child, of these kids. And I also want to, before I step down, thank our CASA workers, the volunteers who help out the court system, DCF and social workers for the job they do. So congratulations this holiday season to the families, to the children, and to the new parents. I hope you have a great holiday season and a great Thanksgiving. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Senator Moore. We appreciate all you've done for us, especially over the last year. The dedicated social workers of the department function under the outstanding leadership of the Massachusetts Commissioner of DCF. It is truly a gargantuan task to manage this critically important agency, and it is done amazingly well by the Commissioner of the Department of Children and Families. And so I'm very pleased to introduce you to the Commissioner, Linda Spears.
Good morning. Good morning, everyone. How are you? I have to tell you, I just love coming to Worcester Courthouse. I love this place. It is a wonderful building, and it is always packed when we do the event here. I am so, he like had a meltdown. He's done, right? He's completely done for the moment. Anyway, I'm thrilled to be here. I'm delighted to be here. I was sitting there looking around this room, and I just see spotted across the room all of the people who made this happen. I see my social workers and my managers up in the rafters. I see court employees all the way to the clerks and the security folks who sit here and help us on this day to do this and help every day when our parents and our kids and our foster mothers are in this courthouse doing day-to-day business that got them all the way to today. And that's no easy task. So to the members of the trial court, thank you, thank you, thank you, and to all the staff that support the judges in the trial court. We could not begin to be here without you. I look also around the room and I see a ton of my foster and adoptive parents who are there every day taking care of kids. You know, the senator spoke earlier about the trauma that kids experience before they get to this day, and the horrible things that can happen to children, and the difficulties that they face along the way. But what I can tell you is, regardless of whether or not there's therapy and supports and all of the things that go into making it work, the number one ingredient in healing trauma is loving, caring relationship with someone who is bonded to you for life. To all of the foster and adoptive families who have stepped up to bond for life, to heal and care for kids that are in the care and custody of the Department of Children and the Families, oh my God, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. All of you are among the 106 families here in Worcester today who are adopting 140 children. 140 children in 27 sibling groups. So yes, a lot of you are adopting more than one kid today. There are ages, babies, brand new infants, all the way to age 15. It crosses the gamut. You guys are doing it all. It is absolutely phenomenal. And it comes as a cap off on a year where DCF did the most adoptions ever in its history. $934 children were adopted last year. It's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. And I count the work of all of you as getting that done. This does not happen by a social worker alone. It doesn't happen by a judge alone. It doesn't happen by a foster parent alone. It happens by all of us putting our best foot forward, getting up at the table every time we need to, doing it again and again and again until we get to today. So I really, really just want to say thank you to all of you. I've got a ton of notes here, but my biggest message of today is how grateful I am that the lives of 140 kids here in the Worcester area are going to be changed forever as a result of what happens today. Thank you.
So thank you for your support, Commissioner. We are grateful to have it. So this is the first year, or the first time that we've chosen to have adoptive parents who will actually finalize an adoption today speak at our ceremonies. So this year, Blair and Jonathan Miller, who are going to finalize the adoption of little Jameson, who we've all seen running around today, we're going to be finalizing their adoption. I'm thrilled to be able to preside over that adoption today and to have them here. Blair Miller is known to many here in Massachusetts. He spoke here 2 years ago. He's known to many as the former anchor and transferred recently to Washington, D.C. as an anchor and reporter covering the White House and presidency. So we're thrilled to have him here taking a break from hearings in Washington. And Jonathan, a paramedic who has been involved as a first responder for many years, involved in saving lives for many years, including having responded to the Pentagon during the 9/11 attacks and to Louisiana during the Katrina disaster. So, but I'm sure that they will, like all of us, they will tell you that the most important job for them is being parents. This is the adoption of their third child today, so I'm so happy to introduce to you Blair and Jonathan Miller.
Good morning, everyone. And Judge Erskine, let's be honest, it's really nice to take a break from Washington right now with everything going on. I've been in impeachment hearings for the last 2 weeks, so this is really nice to be here. It really is a pleasure to be here. And it's a little embarrassing because, as she mentioned, we were here 2 years ago, and it was our now 7-year-old who was running around here doing the same thing, and everybody said it was so cute, and now Jameson's doing the same thing. So this may be the last time you see me, is what I'm basically saying to you. Thank you to the First Lady, Senator Moore, for being here with the distinguished members of our Justice Department. The work you all do on adoption is so meaningful, and we are so grateful beyond what you know. To Judge Erskine, it's really hard to put into words how we feel about you as a family. I met Carol a couple of years ago at this event, and I mentioned her in such a light moment of innocence that we'd consider adopting a third child. Well, that really, if you know Judge Erskine, that was the front door. She needed to really walk into our house, and she hasn't left since. And I'm really grateful for that, I truly am, because today we are here to adopt our third son, who is, here we go, Jameson Wesley Miller. I'll never forget the day we got the email saying, here's someone to consider. We saw his picture, and we just knew. It's funny how adoptive parents out there, you have these moments of, you just know. And yeah, you're shaking your head up there. Being a same-sex couple, my husband Jonathan and I will never truly know what it's like to wait 9 months for a child. And I'm pretty thankful for that, because I'm pretty sure my Amazon loving husband would have a house full of diaper warmers or whatever they're used for. But to understand why today is so special, you have to understand our story. Jonathan and I met in 2002, eventually married in North Carolina and grew up. Jonathan always wanted kids, and I didn't really understand how that was even possible. And you have to know that Jonathan is so compassionate. He's the compassionate arm of our relationship, always willing to help and always wanting something much more. There would be days that he would dream about having kids, and I'd be the one dreaming up all the questions about how is that even possible. Jonathan's dream turned into our reality. Today, as we prepare to adopt our third son, we come here, as you know by now, with our 2 other beautiful children, Zeke and Cash. Each story is amazing and something we cherish so deeply. Zeke was born in California. We were there in the delivery room with him when he was born. Cash was born in North Carolina. We already knew his mother. That led to adopting him at 4 months old. And today we're here with Jameson. We've been very open with our boys about their stories, which you'll hear more from Jonathan in a moment, but sharing their stories will never change, and not even today. Jameson turns 3 in just 2 weeks, yet he has seen more heartache than most of us in this room, most people in a lifetime. He's been in and out of foster homes. He's been neglected on the streets. He's been left questioning, is this my home? Literally, we get those questions. He'll say, Dada, Daddy, is this my home? Am I coming home? We're just going to Target. Yes, Jameson, this is your home. When we got that initial email from our social worker, when we just knew, we also knew that the chances of it all lining up were a little suspect. Here I was working in Boston as a news anchor and about to relocate to Washington, D.C. to cover the White House, help launch a national political show, and everything else that comes along with that. And when I say relocate, I truly mean we're about to move in a few weeks. My husband, a decorated paramedic, was looking for homes and planning our future as a family of 4. When we got Jameson's picture, we weren't really sure what to do. We knew just one thing that mattered. We needed to do what was best for Jameson. We told our social worker, sitting right here, we're all in, but you need to know, this is what we're dealing with. They considered it, and we figured out how to do the visits back and forth and whatever it would take. It was truly one of those meant-to-be moments, and God telling us, this is your son. As a TV news journalist, I tend to meet people when they're either having the best day of their life or their worst day of their life. I can tell you stories of interviewing presidents, sitting in the Oval Office, or traveling with the military as they fight wars. I can tell you stories of being at Super Bowls. I can tell you stories of sitting down with people who have suffered unimaginable loss. But the truth is, none of it has prepared me for being a dad or meeting a birth mom who says goodbye to their son, seeing them give one last hug as we walk to our car as a family, listening to them worry, will their biological child know they're loved? I remember the silence when we adopted Zeke, the silence of leaving the hospital. Jonathan and I both worried. What have we done? Is this right? I now know, if this isn't right, I don't know what is. As we all sit here today, we all have stuff, don't we? And some of it's really ugly, isn't it? We all have stuff at home. We have stuff inside of us that's just sometimes just nasty and we don't know how to deal with it. But hopefully, there's more of it that's beautiful. I stand here seeing my mother sit in the front row. She is the grandmother you dream of having, trying to keep our 3 boys under wraps with bribes of candy in her purse, wiping noses at the moment. I stand here seeing lifetime friends who would do anything for us. Anything. Our kids know that, and we are so appreciative of that. We could not do this without you. But I can't help but wonder, how did I possibly get so stinking lucky? For parents out there, you know, there are days you feel like you've run that marathon and you've won the marathon, and you just got the kids on the bus. You've been there. One day, one of our kids came home from school and told us about something he learned, and we now use it every night at the dinner table. It goes like this. What was your rose today? It's something that was good. What was your thorn today? Something that wasn't so good. And then, what's your bud? Something you're looking forward to. We learned so much from that, Zeke. We do that at our dinner table every night. And 90% of the time, the rose from our boys is the same. It goes something like this. My rose is that you guys are my dads. It's gold. So today, as we grow our family with a little boy who's been with us for less than a year, but feels like he's been part of our DNA forever, I leave you with this, a letter to our boys. Zeke, Cash, Jameson, I hope you know how much you are loved. You are what the world makes the world so right for us. We're so thankful to have you in our lives. You make us better people. You make us love more. You are what makes life so spectacular. And if you ever need anything, hopefully you know that your dad and I are waiting with anticipation to help. But most importantly, this is your home. This is your forever home. And it's a better home because you all live in it. I love you. Happy National Adoption Day. Enjoy, families.
I'm trying to hold myself together as I follow my husband. We've never actually spoke together. But good morning. What a privilege it is to be here today. I'm Jonathan Bobbitt Miller, the other co-pilot and husband to Blair, and the proud dad to Zeke 7, Cash 6, and Jameson back here. I often refer to us as a beautiful mess, despite what people see on social media, because with 3 boys under the age of 8, we're usually a mess and we're 5 minutes late. Luckily, we brought Nana with us for reinforcement. It's a big day, and it's an exciting day for us and so many of you out there. I've been a paramedic now for 19 years, responded to the attacks on 9/11, helped victims of Hurricane Katrina, worked during some of New England's worst nor'easters, and held patients' hands sometimes during the worst day of their lives, and often as they took their last breaths. I thought I had seen it all, most of it all, and thought I could handle almost anything. That was until I became a dad to those 3 boys. Nothing has been more rewarding, challenging, and loving than being a dad to these 3 boys. With every new day, we get to write a new paragraph in what I call as our family's love story. As most of you know that have adopted, it's not for the faint of heart, right? It's messy, it's hard, it's beautiful, it's full of love. Adoption often comes with a past, often labels. It sometimes comes with neglect and trauma. But do you know what's stronger than any of that? It's love. It's what you all are doing here today. All these children want is a secure home, a family that they can call their very own. That's all they want. They want to be loved. To tell your story, I feel like I need to start from the beginning. Adoption is a process, a love that knows no boundaries, and what I like to call, again, is our family's love story. It's my story, it's our story as a family. I myself was born to 2 young teenagers, raised by my grandmother, and didn't know my dad until I was a teenager myself. However, he lived just up the road from me. My 2 sisters went to church with me, and I didn't know it. My grandmother, my dad's mom, was my bus driver, and I had no idea. Now it all makes sense on the last day of school why my bus driver for so many years would be so emotional. If only Facebook and social media was around then, Ellen DeGeneres would have loved that video. As I wasn't officially adopted, I feel like I can relate to an adoptive child. I understand the loss of identity, not knowing who you really are, not understanding the past. Although, last Christmas, Blair got me a 23andMe kit, and I can't really tell you much more about my identity other than probably 5 of you are my 4th or 5th cousins. I met my husband and my best friend in 2002, and one day I knew from the very beginning I wanted to be a dad. He thought I was crazy, and we had no idea how that would happen. 9 years later, we married in Key West, and just a year later, we were in the delivery room in California, holding the hands of a very brave 18-year-old woman as she delivered a beautiful baby boy. After he was born, he made his first cry. His brave mother held him tightly, and just before handing him to us, she looked at Blair and I and strongly and proudly said, "Will you always let Zeke know I loved him so much to let him go? I want to give him the best opportunity. I want to break a cycle." Just like that, we were dads. Whoa. That day we left the hospital, it felt like the first day we were on the road. But here's the kicker. We were driving to LAX to get back to North Carolina. LA traffic, a newborn. A year and a half later, we were at a Christmas parade, proud dads to Zeke, and we got a phone call we weren't expecting. It was from a young mother. Her name was Chloe. She was struggling to provide for her 4-month-old son. She decided the best avenue for him at the time would be for us to take custody of him. It was the holidays. I will never forget what she said to us. Just before we drove away with cash, she said, "Will you promise me he will always know one thing? And that's that I love him, and I truly tried. I want to do what's best for him." And just 6 months later, we adopted Cash. With that, you can see every child has a past. And sometimes that is important for that child to know. In 2017, just 2 years ago, Blair spoke at the same adoption day. Zeke and Cash were with us. We probably were 5 minutes late, and we were a mess. On the way home, I said to Blair, "You know, I saved all those baby clothes. They're all in containers. We should consider adopting again." And Blair gave me that grin that I knew exactly what he meant. He said, "Funny you say that. Judge Erskine's that you met today said we should also adopt again. She thought that would be great." And whoa, that led us right back here 2 years later in this exact same courthouse to officially become dads to our 3rd son, Jameson. We're incredibly lucky. It takes a village to raise a child. These children are our future. Just over a year ago, Blair and I met with our social worker at the Home of Little Wonders. We took MAP training every Saturday, while our friends and neighbors came and took care of our 2 good boys. These same friends, Corinne and Tracy, are in our audience today. Thank you, because you helped make our dream a reality, to become a family of 5. We then were matched with a social worker, Leah, from the Home of Little Wonders, who worked tirelessly to answer our questions, complete paperwork, and find a match that would meet our family. You will never know how grateful we are for you. Thank you, Leah. The end of May, she called us and told us, "We have a possible match," and we scheduled a disclosure meeting. At the end of that meeting, the social worker shared a picture of us. It was a child with short hair. He wasn't smiling at the camera, I look and I can see Blair crying, and I start to cry. I know what that just meant. You've all been there. We've been to those disclosure meetings. You've seen those pictures. We just saw a picture of her third son. With the help of our social worker, caseworkers, the ongoing worker, we met our third son by the end of that next week. Lots of emotions for us all, but especially for our little Jameson, who's here today. We met Jameson's mom in the summer. He had not seen her in several months. She sobbed when she saw him. After a giant hug, he looked at her with his 2-year-old little voice, as confident as he was, and he said, "Mommy, don't cry for me anymore. I'm happy." We're happy too, Jameson. She gave us to Ms. Thomas the train. She had been holding on to him as they went from homeless shelters to homes in different places. She said she had never seen him this happy. He was engaged. He was talking. She said through tears, "I want to do what's best for him. I always wanted him to have a family that I couldn't give him. I always wanted him to have something that I never had. And he now has 2 dads and 2 brothers. And because of that, I want you guys to be his dads." There have been laughs, there have been hugs and tears, and lots of nights lying by Jameson's bed, holding his little 2-year-old hand to reinforce he's safe. We watch as his little body relaxes. You can literally watch the anxiety and fear and worry leave his body when he feels loved and secured. He often will say to Blair and I, "You found me, right, Daddy and Dada?" He will repeat that over and over again. "You found me, right? You won't let me go, right?" You see, Jameson has been in several foster homes, in and out of a few homeless shelters. He really has a fear of losing us as a family. We have reassured him 1,000,000 times that he's safe and we will never let go. And forever our son he will be. And we will reassure him 1,000,000 more times if that's what it means. Jameson is now with his adoptive family, his 2 brothers that are proud to be his older brothers, and his dog Laguna, and we could not be more grateful to think that our sweet Jameson at 2 years old ever has felt unwanted, unloved. Simply breaks our hearts. And we want to change that, and we got to start changing that, and officially we get to change that today. We're so grateful to be his dads. We're equally grateful for the social workers, the guardian ad litems, the ongoing workers, the child workers, the lawyers, the judges. And let me tell you something about those people, as most of you know. I knew from the very moment that we met with them, this was more than a job for them. This was these professionals, it was a calling. It's a calling to protect these children so they can give them the very best they can. Jameson's ongoing worker, Annette's here today. She has thought of him like a child. He recognized her and hadn't seen her for months. His face lit up when he saw her. Thank you all for what you do. It's really important, especially thank you to Leah and Annette that are here today. Congratulations and thank you to the adoptive families. It's such an honor for Blair and I to be here to share this special day as we expend our family with you. What you're doing today is nothing short of amazing, filled with love. It's your family's love story. It's our family's love story. Because today, 500,000 children are freed for adoption. Today, right now. And only 5% of those will be adopted. All these children want is to be loved, and how lucky we are to be able to do that. For the adoptive children and the children being adopted today, I want to share with you a favorite part of a book we read nightly to Jameson. The title of the book is called The Crown Upon Your Head. On the day we met, and the first time I put you to bed, I noticed the crown on the top of your head. It was made of sparkling, glimmering things, like moonlight and fireflies. As the days came and went, it was faithful and true, and it grew right along with the rest of you. I always knew just what that crown meant. It meant you were magnificent. It meant, like a star, you were born to shine. In other words, on your very first day, you were chosen to go in a very big way. Jameson, our dear son, and all the other children here today, never forget how magnificent you are. You are a star. You are born to shine. Congratulations. I want to close with this. Almost every day, Blair and I, being 2 dads with 3 kids, usually a disaster, someone comes up to us and says, "You saved those 3 boys," or "You saved him." But as an adoptive parent, and so many adoptive parents out there, you know that's not true. They saved us. They gave us a reason to live, a purpose for life. We're constantly evolving and often miss the mark, but they saved us. Boys, thanks for us letting us be your dads. To my 3 boys, Zeke, Cash, and Jameson, truly thank you. It's a privilege. Dad and Daddy love you.
I want to thank Blair and Jonathan. I asked them months ago whether they would do this, and we were able to convince them to speak today, even though they're very busy with finalizing their own adoption. I've gotten to know them well over the past year, and yeah, I gave them a little shove to, the adoption thing, but I am proud to say that they have just become wonderful friends, and we've had many conversations about adopted children. As Jonathan just said about, people say you saved those children. November is the 20-year anniversary of the adoption of my second child, and I often tell this story, as I have many years during this, during these proceedings, where I was driving with my kids one day, and there was a radio story talking about Madonna and how she had adopted children and how she had saved them. And I didn't think my kids were listening to it because they were probably maybe 8 and 5, and my oldest son said, "Mom, did you save us?" And not knowing that he was listening to it. And we were at a stop, I turned around, I looked back at them, and I said, "No, you saved us." And this is something that every person in this room who is adopting knows. So I want to thank Blair and Jonathan just for their friendship and for all the wonderful conversations we've had about adoption, and for their remarks today. We're going to be wrapping up soon. I just want to go back and thank Mary Nugent for the Star Spangled Banner this morning. Don't know if we said her name, but she stepped in at the last minute because Elena from the district court is sick, and so we took someone from our Superior Court. We have so many talented people here, and I'm so grateful for her stepping in at the last minute. Mary, thank you. Hearing the voices of adoptees every year has become a tradition in our court. And each year, an adoptee speaks at this celebration. This year, a very special voice to bring a close to the ceremonies. And so on August 23rd, 2017, in the Worcester County Probate Court, this very young, lovely, blind woman, also on the autism spectrum, came into the courthouse with 2 gentlemen who would become her 2 dads. And during those proceedings, Lavender and her soon-to-be dad, Will, sang together at the request of the judge, and that moment went viral to inspiring thousands and thousands of new stories of adoption. So we're happy to welcome them back to the courthouse. Jamie and Will, her dads, and Lavender's here, and Lavender is going to sing because she has an amazing voice, and she's going to see part of your world from the Disney film, The Little Mermaid. Please welcome Lavender D'Arcangelo.
The bar. walking around on those, what do you call them? Oh, feet. Flipping your fins, you don't get too far. Legs are required for jumping, dancing, strolling around on that, what's the word again? Street. Up where they walk, up where they run, up where they stay all day in the sun, wandering free. Wish I could be part of that world. What would I give if I could live out of these waters? What would I pay if I could stay warm on the sand? Bet you on land they'd understand that they don't reprimand their daughters. Bright young women, sick of swimming, ready to stand and ready to know what the people know. Ask all my questions and get some answers. What's a fire and why does it, what's the word? Burn! When's my turn? When I love to explore that shore up above. Out of the sea. Wish I could be part of that world.
We're giving you a standing ovation. Want to bow right here? Great, thank you.
Thank you so much, everyone.
Dad, come on up. Other than to close these ceremonies, it doesn't get much better than that. So I want to thank all of our speakers today, all of the people that have participated in the program, and of course, Lavender for lending her wonderful voice to us. So in 2002, in the United Nations, Nelson Mandela said, "History will judge us by the difference we make in everyday lives of children." Adoptive parents, today, you are making a difference in the lives of these children. And as an adoptive parent, I know how these children will make a difference in your lives, and it will only be for the better. So at this time, I will ask that you remain seated briefly. We congratulate you all, and if you can remain seated so that I can get the judges to their courtrooms, and we ask the adoptive families to follow their CASA volunteers as we begin the adoption finalizations. This court is now in session. Let the adoptions begin.